Welcome to another edition of the Sundown series where today we are now entering into another state and in another town. We are now in the Empire State, or the Big Apple, or the city that never sleeps, and that is New York, where the first place we will be highlighting is Bronxville, New York. Not the Bronx, but Bronxville. This is definitely not the Bronx. Like, how you can look at these pictures and definitely tell this is definitely not the Bronx. And I'm looking at all these pictures. This is a very affluent area. Like, you can look at this and look at all of these houses right here. And I don't know why this house right here looks like the Amityville horror house. It looks just like it. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this and see what else we can learn about this place. Bronxville is a village in Westchester County, New York, located about 15 miles north of Midtown Manhattan. It is a part of the town of Eastchester. The village comprises of 1 square mile of land in its entirety, approximately 20% of the town of Eastchester. As of the 2010 U.S. Census, Bronxville had a population of 6,323 people. The population of Bronxville in 2018 was 6,394. In 2016, Bronxville was rated by CNBC as the most expensive suburb of any of America's 10 largest cities, with a median home value of $2.33 million. It was ranked 8th in Bloomberg's America's 100 Richest Places in 2017 and 2018, and 9th in 2019, and is the second richest town in the state of New York. It makes me wonder what is the largest. The region that includes the contemporary village of Bronxville was deeded to British colonists in 1666, but first settled by Europeans in the early 18th century. The two founding inhabitants were the Underhill and Morgan families. The Underhills built a sawmill and grist mill, which was the first factory in the area on the Bronx River. After they built a wooden bridge, the area became known as Underhill's Crossing. Millionaire real estate and pharmaceutical mogul William Van Duzer Lawrence sparked the development of Bronxville as an affluent suburb of New York City by building grand homes in a rustic setting. The area became Bronxville when the village was formally established. The population grew in the second half of the 19th century when railroads allowed commuters from Westchester County to work in New York City. Lawrence's influence can be seen throughout the community, including the historic Lawrence Park neighborhood in the Houlihan Lawrence Real Estate Corporation and Lawrence Hospital. The village was home to an arts colony in the early 20th century, but when many noteworthy houses were built by prominent and casual architects. After the Bronx River Parkway was completed in 1925, the village expanded rapidly with the construction of several apartment buildings and townhouses, many of them being built by the Lawrence family. As of 1959, the family continued to own or manage 97% of the rental market. The Grammaton Hotel on Sunset Hill was a resident hotel in the late 19th century and early 20th century. Grammaton was the name of the chief of the local Silwanoy Indian tribe that was centered in the Grammaton Rock area above Bronxville Station. Chief Grammaton sold the land to the settlers. The hotel was demolished in 1970, and a complex of townhouses was built on the site in 1980. Elizabeth Cliff Bacon, General George Armstrong Custer's widow, lived in Bronxville, and her house still stands to this day. St. Joseph Catholic Church, located in the downtown area, was attended by the Kennedys when they were residents from 1929 to about 1938 before moving to London. Edward Kennedy returned to St. Joseph in 1958 for his wedding to Joan Bennett. 2 years later, in the 1960 presidential election, voters in the village overwhelmingly chose Richard Nixon over Edward's brother John by a 5-1 margin. The U.S. Post Office Bronxville was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1988. Other sites of the National Register are the Bronxville Women's Club, Lawrence Park District, and Masterton Dusenberry House. The racial makeup of the village is 91.88% white, 1.15% African American, 0.5% Native American, 4.83% Asian, 0.6% Pacific Islander, 0.73% from other races, and 1.30% from 2 or more races. Hispanic or Latinos of any race is 2.93% of the population. Granted, they didn't mention anything sundown worthy about this particular town, but if you can look at it, you can clearly tell it's not a lot of black people that's living there. I'm actually surprised that it's higher than 1% that do live there. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, of the sundown stories that probably came from this town, probably got buried in all of its upscaleness. They know how to bury stuff in these influent neighborhoods. Don't think that just because they have some nice homes and everything like that, and these are some nice ass homes, I'm not even gonna lie, that they don't have their deal of dirt. But that was pretty much it for Bronxville, New York. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Did you know that this place even existed if y'all live in New York or been in the area? Because this looks like something close to the Hamptons. I know it's not the Hamptons, but yeah, I'm just curious. But y'all let me know what y'all think.